Welcome back to IT Strategy Made Simple. On November 19th, the EU Commission dropped a massive legislative update, the Digital Omnibus. It's promising to strip away regulatory friction and unlock $5 billion in savings by 2029. The question is this a genuine lifeline for European startups, or a shameless bending of the knee to big tech? The official line is, this creates opportunities for European companies to lead. But here's the critical test. Is this going to actually deliver material relief to SMEs and smaller players? Or will it just make the compliance ride easier for the multinationals that can already absorb those high costs? Let's start with the AI Act. The primary criticism has always been that it's both complex and vague. It tells you what to comply with, but not how. And now, the Commission's response seems to be to buy itself more time. Compliance for high-risk AI systems will only be required once the Commission puts in place the necessary support tools. This is a strategic delay that buys the Commission 16 months to get its homework done. The hard deadlines from August 2026 for Annex 3 systems now move out as far as December 2027 and even 2028 for certain systems. Now, there are supports for smaller players. SMEs are going to get simplified documentation requirements. Regulatory sandbox is going to be widened to a broader audience. But when we look at AI literacy efforts, the resources are still driven by big tech and they're headquartered outside the EU. Palantir, IBM, SAS. The bias is hard to ignore. With the changes, the EU Commission will be then responsible for those literacy efforts, which I think is a good move. But the biggest worry here is the new exemption for what's quoted narrow or procedural tasks in high-risk AI. This plants a bit of a minefield legislation-wise. Unless the term narrow is defined with precision, this risks becoming an area absolutely ripe for exploitation. But let's switch gears to the broader proposals, because the devil's certainly in the detail here. There's updates to the Data Act, the CyberSecurity Act, the Cyber Resilience Act, and even GDPR. Firstly, there's a small win that maybe everybody will celebrate. Goodbye cookie banners, or maybe goodbye to most cookie banners. Soon, with these proposals, you'll be able to choose preferences with a single click, maybe even in your web browser centrally, and you could even avoid those relentless prompts for up to 6 months. That may be a huge relief for everybody just searching for a cookie recipe. Next, they've got a brilliant application of common sense, simplifying cybersecurity reporting obligations. Instead of reporting the same incident under 3 different regulations like GDPR, NIS2 and DORA for example, the Commission aims to create a single entry point. Less time in paperwork means more time on containment and countermeasures. This can only be a good thing. A standardized breach template will help you report once but share widely. Now for the philosophical pivot. GDPR is the world's most advanced privacy framework. A softening here could mean a sea change globally. Most national frameworks are based on the GDPR. The major proposal is this: using personal data to develop and deploy AI models may now become a legitimate interest. This is the crux of these changes that GDPR practitioners must immediately prioritize understanding. This single shift represents the biggest philosophical realignment in data usage since the GDPR's inception. The Digital Omnibus sells itself on simplification, but forget for a moment the $5 billion figure. It's dwarfed in the press release by a $150 billion annual opportunity promised by the EU business wallet. This is where the narrative becomes confusing. Is the Omnibus a regulatory lifeline? Is it $150 billion in savings via the wallet? Or is this just a distraction from the fundamental relaxation of privacy standards? One thing's for sure, the EU is betting big on innovation. But with hard deadlines, political debate, and the promise of simplification battling the reality of legislation loopholes, the question remains, what price will privacy ultimately pay for that bet? Let me know your thoughts on the Digital Omnibus in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.